There are 200 miles of tunnels right underneath our feet.
They're holding the remains of 6 million corpses.
Stop. This is the Empire of the Dead.
These are human bones.
We go through here?
Let's do it.
As above, down below, or what? Going down.
As above, so below.
Going down, making your way up. Or what, you know?
Uptown Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
Which way is up?
Yeah. We were talking about it last night. We said, listen, you in Paris. Paris, a city of love, culture, food, good nightlife. Why the fuck are you going there trying to find ghosts, stirring up trouble? See, that's what white people do. White people go and stir up trouble with ghosts.
Yeah, that does seem to be the thing. That's their thing.
Y'all don't know in these movies, if you look at it, every time there's something going on, ghosts minding their own business. We think ghosts is bad. Ghosts mind their own business. Crazy white, curious white people go there fucking with ghosts.
Well, man, there's only so much skydiving and base jumping you can do before that gets boring too. You got to tempt the supernatural.
You can only drink so much Mountain Dew and do
That's
crazy
true.
shit, Martin.
That's true.
Until you just say, you know what I ain't done yet? I ain't fucked with a ghost today. Let's do that. But you know something with this movie? I have to say that they took a little bit of a different angle. Now, you see this girl right here, and let me pull up some information on this. Man, this girl right here that you see, she is actually Laura Croft, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I made a joke about it yesterday, but like, oh yeah, she kind of is Laura Croft.
No, this girl right here, she opens up the movie kind of being a badass.
Yeah.
She says, you know what? I got a black belt and some karate you ain't ever heard of. I know languages that don't even exist yet. And languages that just died. My father was pretty much Indiana Jones.
Exactly.
Except the thing about her father being Indiana Jones is that he went looking for one thing. Oh yeah, he fucking died. And people tell her, your father was a good man. Your father was a brave man. He was kind of stupid in this one thing where he died. And you know what? Your dumb ass is just like him. They try to tell us one guy in Iran, he's like, girl, please leave this shit alone. Your father would even tell you fucking stupid. That's an African voice. I ain't no Iran. But anyway, you get the picture. But she can't stop, man. She says.
She's driven.
She's driven.
Her father was driven. She's driven.
I guess you could say that. The thing with.
Because a little thing that got dropped where she's like, yes, I'm a black belt in Krav Maga. I know 8 different languages. He's like, the guy filming is like, really? Yeah, my father, he had a real studious household. It's sort of like, yeah, he kind of made me this way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was like her father fucked her up.
Yeah.
And just said, you know what? Her father's pretty much, wow, I wanted a boy and I want to name him Indiana.
We named the dog Indiana. But you can still do all the same stuff.
Yeah. But I guess fuck you'll do. So the girl's kind of, she's got it ingrained in her. And by the way, the girl is played by very lovely Perdita Weeks. That's her name. Damn, Perdita, that's a black girl's name.
It is.
Yeah.
I have a cousin named Perdita.
Damn. Does she go treasure hunting and shit like this too? No, because she's black. She's the Perdita that stays out of shit. She's not the white Perdita that gets into shit. But anyway, so whatever her father was looking for, she soon discovers that the secret lies within the catacombs that is buried deep beneath the streets of Paris. And she gets up. There's always, with these kind of people. Now here's my thing. If you want to go out and you want to do some Tomb Raider shit, you want to be Laura Croft, do that shit by yourself.
Man, you can't do that by yourself. That's where people fuck up when they go like, I'm Laura Croft or I'm Indiana Jones, I'm gonna do this by myself. It's like, no, anybody who's even remotely successful at this has a crew of people with them. Those crew of people might not take the credit, but they do have that crew.
You do. You have, and you see this a lot in these kind of adventurous crews. You got the one guy that shouldn't be there, and it's usually the black guy, but he's the one holding the camera.
I didn't even know he was the one holding the camera. I was like, okay, some guy with him until he came around. I was like, Oh, I thought that was supposed to be a black dude in this crew.
Yeah, you know, you always got one Negro there trying to be Spike Lee, Anton Fuqua. So he's stupid enough to go along with it. Then you always got the dude that's pussy whoop that fucked this girl at one time and says, and she even says, and the dude tells her, he's like, look, I ain't doing it again. All right? You ain't getting me in trouble no more. 'Cause he's been through this shit with her. That's why he broke up with her. But then she does this. She rubs her crotch and waves that shit under his nose. He's like, I'm not.
This is the last time.
You know, is that vagina? I smell. Okay, you got me this time. Okay, I won't make me 2 more times. Okay. And she rubs that vagina juice under his nose. They're like, okay, you got me this time, but this is the last time. Okay, I'll go wherever you go. But then you got the cocky adventurous crew.
Yeah.
Oh yes, in this case you have it. Oh, and by the way, Ben Feldman plays the boyfriend that knows languages and wants to be a part of is going to be joining the crew reluctantly.
What's he been in before? He looked way
American Pie.
Really?
I don't know. I just took a guess.
Okay, I was like, I don't think so.
I don't know. Fuck
Okay.
it. I know what he's been in. As above, down below. whatever is so below, whatever this shit is. And then in this crew, you have the like I said, the cocky group, the adventurous group that's like, oh, I've been everywhere before.
Yeah.
This where you want to go. This is nothing to me. I've been here before.
That's true. They are the cocky kind of street adventurers. They're tagging buildings, going out in the caves, avoiding the cops. They got all the shit, like everything we got. This is what you need to do.
Oh yeah, and the places they've been to, you can tell because there's some, like I said, there's some fucking shit that just looks like Egypt pyramid shit, and they tagged it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a mummy in there with the fucking tag on his face. Pap, you know. But these guys, they all join together, and they all start out, except for that one reluctant guy who's too stupid pussy whooped. But the rest of everybody, they're like, oh, let's go. But all of them, they always end up with that, oh shit. They always end up doing that near the end. And in this case, that's exactly what happens. Now, I will tell you this much. I do like the way this starts out. We always make joke. I know it's an old joke, the white people doing stupid things. But with this movie, it did seem like they justified that by making this girl, whose name is Scarlett, an adventurer.
Well, I thought, like, with so much of what I made fun of from the trailer, I was like, okay, taken out of context, that trailer looks stupid. Yet within the movie, they pretty much gave a justification for everybody to be there. And I was like, you know what? I give you guys a lot of props for that. Because most of the time with these things, they have flimsy excuses.
They
But
do.
Everybody
Yeah.
who was there, they had a reason to be there and a reason to keep going for a while.
That's the thing that the movie starts out with great promise. Is that, you know, usually with these kind of films, you get people, they just, hey man, let's just go fuck up something and get high
Yeah.
and fuck women and
Right.
get drunk. You know, all that. And it's not like this here. I mean, she's actually putting in some work. Like we said, her father fucked her with her head.
Yeah.
She's got a legacy to kind of keep.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually been doing some research for years. So you can understand when people tell her, they say, don't go there. And she's like, bullshit. I've been studying this shit for years.
I've been doing this. I know you guys are superstitious. I've been doing this, and I'm on a mission. I am going to find that thing that Harry Potter couldn't find, and I'm going to bring it back. And then you got her ex-boyfriend, who, you know, they clearly have a lot of history, not just sexually, but of working on this project.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, people tell her, and she's like, my father was on my ass about this since I was 6.
Yeah.
I went to school for this since I was fucking 17. You goddamn right I'm going in there.
Yeah.
You know, she's even saying, I don't give a fuck if there's a ghost or whatever in there. Fuck him. Work
Right.
too hard for this shit.
Right.
Fuck you, ghost. You hear that? I'm coming in. Even the ghosts are like, damn, that's a badass white girl now. I don't know, man. We should run. But then, like I said, when they get in there, that's when the crazy stuff happens. And one of the things that I think works against the film is that you have two different movies going on. You have this adventure that it starts out with, and the adventure side feels legitimate. It feels like a Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah.
It feels like a first person found footage Tomb Raider film.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like a horror film.
Right.
But that's what gets in the way of the film when the real horror starts. They start going into these catacombs. They start going through the caves. They start looking at stuff, and when they show you just a little bit of scary stuff here and there. But this girl Scarlett, she's too busy when the scary stuff is about to happen. This girl Scarlett's like, oh, you know, like a ghost is about to come out and be like, boy, and she's like, guys, look at this clue I found. The ghost is like, shit, man, I was just. The fuck? You know what I mean?
See, I like that about it.
it was like the ghost was just about to jump out.
Yeah, because everybody else, especially poor Black Benji, the cameraman, is like, fuck this. This is some bullshit. I'm going to get out of here. And she's like, no. Check out this inscription. Come on. Somebody come over here and translate this for me. Yeah, you're right. And the ghost was like, hello.
It was like, yeah.
Well, I guess I'm just getting this guy right here.
You know what? Because if ghost did come, and the ghost be like, ha! What the fuck is shit? That bitch is. And that's what. And you know what? And you can see it in this clip, like I got right here. You see that in this clip right here. You see that they're actually getting into some of the atmosphere. They're getting into the creepy stuff, but they are so about finding pathways and clues and inscriptions that is kind of, and the movie's taken up so much by that it's not even like they're finding stuff that's leading to anything big. It's just her finding things and moving on to the next one. And it gets a little bit dull, at least for
really?
me.
You
at
didn't
least
see how finding one thing led to the next?
I know. I saw how finding one thing led to the next. I just said they did that so much that the movie just kind of got a little boring to me. Let me just show the clip. Let me just show the clip. I know you. I can see right now. You and I about to have that.
I know.
Yeah, you and I about to have that.
Once again, you got to be Mr. Critic. I saw you right in the dark, like, oh, really?
Y'all see what he's doing, right? I didn't even have the chance to get my opinion. Like, let's let you look and see.
Oh,
Build
really?
something like this without a back door in case it collapsed, right?
Never. There's got to be something else. Look around. Everybody look around.
What are we looking for?
I don't know. What is that? Is that something?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, George. George.
What is it?
Looks. It's the Porta Alchemica. This is the door to the mystical.
But this is a door?
No.
That's a door?
No, not exactly. It works in conjunction with this. Here. This is as above, so below. That phrase is believed to be.
I see it's where the ghost is like, well, y'all fucking hurry up. Shit, come on. Yeah, okay, God damn. The ghost almost wants to come in. It's like,
It's been crouched down all day waiting to pop out.
Yeah.
And now starting to get a cramp in his legs.
And I know the ghost even wants to walk in the room and says, it says all down below as like above. All right, that's what it says. Fuck it. Come on, let's move on.
Or magic.
As above, so below. So if they carved a door on the ceiling.
There's got to be a door on the floor, too.
Yeah, someone hand me a rock.
Wait, we are in the bottom of the catacombs. There's nothing below us, so...
Oh, you found the toilet.
Where's all that water going?
Glad nobody stood on that.
Smelling like shit.
I'm not going in there.
And look at that shit. He's like, nah, look at my eyes. I ain't fucking going in there.
Because just so you know, he was their guide through the tombs. And now he's the one going like, I'm not going in there.
Oh, and by the way, he was the one that was the main cocky guy.
Yeah.
You know what? I wanna actually, I should have brought this picture up, but I was doing this before you came in. There was one dude in the movie. And let me see if I can find this. One dude in the movie. He's
Spook Eyes.
Spook Eyes McGee. Let me see if I can find this shit right here. There's a dude in the movie. It's funny how you can tell when people are half white and half black and which side is stronger. Because there's a dude in the movie. He's half white and half black. It's kind of clear he is.
He's mixed race of some
He's
sort.
mixed race. So whatever races he got mixed in there, that black side comes out when he gets scared. Because whenever something happens, he's like, shit. Yo, fuck that. Y'all hear that shit? He always has that look on his face. Did you notice there's certain parts in the movie, it's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Shit, I managed to find the freeze frame. Look at him. It's the dude on the left. Look at him. Y'all hear that shit? The fuck is that shit?
Oh, that's not even like the main one. There's so many times he had his eyes bucked out like that. But like, I
know. I tried to find one. I couldn't find. Yeah, that motherfucker looked like a ventriloquist dummy. Oh, Buckshot McGee. but yeah, now, Martin, if you look at that clip right there, see, even in that clip, where they would just, oh, look over here, and oh, look on the floor, and I'm just like, man, just move on. I mean, even if this was an adventure film, I'd be like, at some point, this is the point where a trap would be found and a poison dart would be flying towards you.
And then if it does that, you go like, psh, yeah, it's predictable. Of course they were going to find a trap or a ghost was going to pop out right then. Whatever.
Okay, I would rather have something predictable happen because it happens instead of them just, let's move this furniture over here and dust this off right here and look over here.
You're not painting this movie accurately. Because most found footage movies, especially those paranormal activity movies that you somehow seem to give a pass to, they're the ones where the camera just sits there and
That's
nothing
a fucking
happens.
lie, by the way. Don't even do that shit.
Nothing.
Man, you would make a despicable lawyer, you would, because you come in here and you just exaggerate shit. The last few, good and goddamn well,
Finish your statement.
The
Go ahead.
last few Paranormal Activity movies, I've given bad reviews to.
But those first few that did the exact same thing where the camera sat there with nothing happening.
But something was-
except a chair would move. You sit there with the camera back and forth, back and forth, back and
I
forth.
tell you why.
Back. Oh, a chair moved. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, man, that was brilliant how they did that.
I tell you why.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. I tell you why. Because it was at least building atmosphere and it was keeping tone.
what?
No, see, I cannot do this if you want to be childish like that. Y'all see that shit? How childish is that shit when I'm sitting up here I'm giving him an argument, and before I can finish it,
Go ahead.
and before I can finish, you do that don't childish it, skibbity bibbity bibbity. Good. Look at you, childish motherfucker. Look at you. You a grown man doing that
Don't
shit.
make me wrong.
Yeah, you too old for that shit.
I'm still right, though.
No, you're not. And the thing is, you so scared of the point I'm about to make.
Make the point.
That you don't even want me to make it.
Make the point. I'm standing back, letting you make the point.
Can I?
Yes, please.
Okay. Y'all heard him. Now shut your mouth. Let me prove my point. Do that again. Now go get some glue and do that. No, look. It was keeping up a certain tone and a certain atmosphere. And that's what my problem is with this. With that first Paranormal Activity movie, with a lot of stuff not happening, that led to the unpredictability of it. It was almost like, oh shit, what's going to move back there? What is going to pop out? Even if it's something that's cliche, what's going to happen here? They're doing something here, but it's really nothing. I mean, the whole time that they're looking for things, it's almost like I don't even know what they're really looking for half the time. And while they're looking for it, I'm just kind of like, okay, you've looked. Find what you want and move on to the next thing.
Man, if it was that easy, everybody would be down there doing it.
This is a movie.
Movie or not.
Pacing.
Movie or not. If it does that, then you go like, oh yeah, they just found everything like that. Then when they don't, you're like, find it already. What's going on?
No, do not exaggerate like that.
I'm not exaggerating.
Do not exaggerate
I gave
like
an
that.
accurate portrayal of you.
No.
Sounded like you, even in my head when I did it.
No, don't you speak for me, because right here, there is such thing as nice middle ground. In other words, good pacing. The pacing was off in the middle.
Pacing was never off.
For you. But you like these old shitty ass ghost movies. So, I'm going to let you.
No, I hate them actually.
No, but you hate them. The good ones. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what are the good ones that I hate?
You know what? I can tell you the bad ones that you like.
No. That's not my question. What are the good ones that I hate?
I'll find one. The
floor is yours.
I have none right now. I remember The Devil Inside. You love that shit.
Come on, pacing, Corey. Pacing.
No. You know what?
You had something going, and now you just kind of stop. You're looking around.
You know what?
We don't even know what you're looking for.
I actually thought that the first Paranormal Activity was good, but you did not like that.
No, it was a piece of shit. It was hardly any different than the ones that followed. But you liked those, so hey, man.
The ones that followed didn't deviate, but the first one, I thought, not great, but you had something. But then you walk out.
They had a whole lot of nothing.
But then
until the last 10 seconds of the movie.
This man was in a full theater. The Devil Inside was in a full theater with the whole audience booed it. They said boo, and you got up just like this in his seat and looked at the audience and said, "What the fuck do y'all want?" I was like,
no, who's exaggerating?
That's no exaggerating.
That's a really.
You don't know that
really.
because in your mind you don't know that. Well, Martin, look, I respect you, Martin. That's why you don't respect me, but I'm gonna be the mature one here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, I respect your opinion. Let me see if I could probably get this on some kind of track where maybe we agree.
Okay. All right.
And you see, I'm trying here.
Sure.
Now, you want to do that childish shit? Let me know. I'll give up right now.
Hey, you got control of the board. For all I know, when I get ready to talk, you're going to turn my mic off.
I just might. Keep fucking with me. Okay. We don't agree on the middle.
Okay.
Clearly.
Okay.
But let's talk about when we do get to the so-called horror part near the end.
Okay.
Now, at this part, the part where I did it really stopped working for me is when they put all those clues out there telling people do not go. And they did that one after another in this film. They managed in a matter of 5 minutes. They passed by a room full of scary people and they're chanting. They actually look at the people like, get out, you know, and they keep going. They run into a guy that they thought was dead and stuck in there. And he's like, go away, or follow me to your doom. And they're just like, okay.
I don't, okay, this is not me interrupting you. It's just that it was very clear that when they got into that room, they turned around like, this is a bad idea, let's leave, and the entrance was gone. They had no choice. They had to follow that guy because they had no choice.
It got to a point where they had no choice. But they had
seeing those weird people in there. They were in the downtown Paris, and there were weird people all around. Like, weird people being in those catacombs. Like, guy was telling them, like, yeah, this kind of shit happens all the time. Don't worry about that.
That's still a sign. He said the key word was weird. You down there in the fucking darkness chanting and shit?
Sure, it's weird, but he's been down there. He's tagged most of that place. He's the guy. He's like, I come down here all the time. She's the girl who's like, hey, whatever I got to do, I'm going to find this Philosopher's Stone. I don't care. So none of that was like, oh, come on, how come they didn't leave after that? Once they were in, they were in. Plus, they had the cops waiting for them back the way they came, so they couldn't go that way.
You know something? I see now, boy. You've seen so many of these movies. You right now. Let me tell you something. No, you would be the one black person they were convinced to go in there. Because right now you've got crazy white people looking for ghost Stockholm syndrome.
Corey, all I got that you don't have is that I was paying attention to the movie.
I was paying attention too.
No, because you're missing like big clues, and this keeps happening, and I'm starting to worry about you.
No,
like maybe there's like little pinholes in your brain from all those things you did at times, and
now he insults my intelligence. Now he insults my intelligence,
Not your intelligence,
and also calls me a drug addict.
Just your memory.
You call me stupid and a drug addict right now.
No, I never said stupid.
What's happening here is that I see things and I don't buy them, and you see things that don't make sense and you justify them. And that's what's happening here.
That's how you look at it. You don't buy them because you omit clear details that would blow apart the theory that you've already worked on your drive over here. You leave
that's
like
true.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna pick this apart because of that and this, and I go like, that actually wasn't there. You aren't able to turn around and go like, oh, well then never mind. You're like, well, I already thought about it, so I ain't changing.
You know what? Again, Martin, I'm gonna pull out one last thing. I'm trying to be civil with your ass. With your ass. One last thing.
All right.
One last thing. Can we at least agree? Now, one of the things that I did like about the movie near the end, it is a trip. It is like it's like you going to a spook house and you walking around and you saying, that ain't scary, and then that fucking acid kicks in, you're like, oh shit, the fuck is going, the walls got teeth, shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at first it's like going to a spook house. You got the guy that jumps at you. You got to be past the one dude sitting in the chair that turns around, you're like, I ain't scared. Fuck shit, and it's like the movie gets real tripped out. But I have to say that even with that ending where they pull out all the stops, it's still sort of typical jump scares and typical spook house stuff.
Well, yeah, it's a found footage horror movie, at the end of the day. And it's honestly, this movie felt like they wrote this to not be any kind of found footage movie or even a horror movie. Like, it was just going to be like a straight action adventure movie with some scary elements.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, nobody wants to produce this. We can't get the Lara Croft brand, and there's no budget for it. And then somebody said, we want to do a found footage horror movie. And somebody said, like, well, you know what? Let's try adapting this script to that. And so that's where it fights itself.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm saying that the two just don't always work together.
No, you're right. I mean, like, in some ways they work, because when they get to the stuff that's claustrophobic, Like that part when Benji was caught in that little small opening, couldn't get out.
Oh, you talking about the black cameraman? Which, by the way, in the trailer, is misleading. What I like to do for trailers sometimes is no spoiler, but sometimes trailers mislead shit, and this trailer is kind of bad because they want to make this trailer is trying to incite some old race shit, because they lead you to believe that the Negro dies first right here. Look at this shit, like right here, like he even gets pulled in and watch this. No. Help me, help my black ass help. And it's like, watch this, splish, blood everywhere.
Exactly. And that's from a completely different scene.
No, that's editing. That never happens in the movie.
Right. But however, that scene with him being in there, that claustrophobia, like I don't even think of myself as being claustrophobic, but it was working on me to where I already had to pee, but I was squirming. I almost got up because I was just like, I can't take this. Because it had me that feeling like I can't breathe.
You know what? I talk about building the atmosphere, but when the cameraman Benji was actually stuck and he felt like he was suffocating, he was getting claustrophobic. That worked.
Yeah,
that worked for the audience. And there's a lot of things. This is my disappointment with a lot of horror films. That they actually have elements when they want to be clever. They have certain things that work. The psychology, the claustrophobia, the environment. But they want to go. They want to just eventually just slip into the easy jump scares. And I thought that's what this movie was doing after a while.
I thought toward the end, it's one of those where it's like, had it been a regular type movie, you would have got your big special effects. You would have had everything come out. That's how they would have polished it off. Here, there's no budget for that. So it's like, okay, well now we got to give the people what they came here for. All the people who love to see these kind of movies at midnight. It's like when somebody said, like, I don't want to do that. Well, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You ain't got money to do nothing else.
Yeah.
So you're doing it. And that's how it comes down. It is too bad because a lot of like the complaints I have about movies like this, it actually, managed to get away from that where I'm like, hey, I see these characters. I recognize their motivations. They're given a backstory that's not the typical 5 teenagers going to a cabin in the woods. I actually, have an affinity for each one of them, and I'm going to hate to see bad stuff happen to them, even though it's going to. And, they had it worked out.
And you know what? You make a good point, man. You make a good point. You actually feel something for these characters instead of, after a while, yeah, you start thinking, don't go in there. But when and you're right. Now, we disagree on when they decided to turn back, but I do agree there's a point early on in the movie where they all say, let's turn the fuck back. And then those catacombs say, the fuck you ain't.
Right.
No,
you ain't. You could have turned back there.
We told y'all several times. See, that's my problem. They told them several times. You say they didn't. There was about 3 times the catacombs said, I told you to go back, but no, you kept wanting to fuck around. Keep your ass in here. and that's when you start feeling for, because they're genuinely scared. This actor is Francois Civil or whatever. He plays Poppy the guide. That guy, he actually did set the mood for the characters because he was the one that made you feel confident.
Yeah.
And then when his ass started looking scared, like he's like that's about 10 minutes in the movie. He's like, shit, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And it's like, shit, if Poppy's scared, I'm scared too. Let's get the fuck out of here. And, Martin, listen, I know that you're being an asshole about this and that you're insulting me and everything, but you know what? I can't agree with you on certain things.
Okay.
I will say that this movie is, while I don't think it's great, and I don't think that, again, is anything that you should rush out and see. I do think it does things that puts it a level above the typical horror stuff we see, especially the typical found footage stuff. I mean, the claustrophobia there in these tight catacombs, it's there, man.
Yeah.
And those cameras that they have, those GoPro cameras and head cameras that they had got on, it works well also at keeping things hidden out the corners of the eye. And so it's very atmospheric, and the characters are not annoying. It's a movie that I think is very effective if you watch it on video. So that's why I would give this a rental. If you're one of those discretionary audiences, that word right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. You're a teenager or something, and you just want to go out and be scared, and you want your girl to just grab onto you, maybe she'll grab your dick accidentally while she's jumping on you, then that's nothing's going to tell you not to go see this. But for people who are a little tight on money, and you watch most of your entertainment at home anyway, this will be perfect for that.
Well, you know what? See, it's funny. We did all that arguing, and we agree more than not.
That's your fault. I was trying to be nice. I know, I can't let it go, can I?
You cannot.
Man, you an asshole, even though I'm the one starting shit. I will will say this: I did like the way the movie ended too.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it ended very well.
They usually end in a way where I'm just like, see, man, I knew I should have left. And I was like, okay.
No. This movie actually did find the right note to end this on, and it's way different from what we're used to. It could have gone in one direction that would have been so cliche, but they didn't do that, and that was kind of refreshing to see.
I would say that I agree with just about everything you said right there. It's just that I end up liking it probably more. I felt more favorable than you did towards what they were doing, and the fact that, like, wow, I am engaged and I like where this is going. And yet, it has to go to that place where I'm like, yeah, I'm not crazy about this kind of thing, but it's still better than what usually gets me here. The thing for me is that, people who like to go see these kind of movies, I don't know, they're used to the movies where it's all jump scares. And this is not that. So they might be like disappointed, or the fact that it has a supernatural element to it, directly supernatural element might be a turnoff to some people.
Yeah.
But for me,
wait a minute. Why do you think a supernatural element might be a turnoff? I mean, the supernatural element is what gets these people in.
Well, for them, they like the idea of ghost is more realistic than the Philosopher's Stone and its properties and what it can do. I think maybe this is a couple things it does, but it might people be like, oh, come on.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing. I thought they kind of over-explained some of this stuff, and I'm thinking a lot of people really don't need that. Maybe that's my problem with them looking at clues. I'm like, you explain a little bit too much in a thriller horror movie, and we just need to kind of move with that instead of sit up here explaining all these philosophies.
Yeah, but
and
then
everything.
you think about the people who go see these kind of movies. They sort of need somebody.
They're not going to be there anyway.
To walk them through.
They're not going to be in this movie anyway, man.
But no, I give it a low matinee. I actually, like I said, I dug it.
I know.
And it took me by surprise.
I can always tell when you in that movie. You sit there and the thing is, that we've been doing this so long, that there's an energy between us where I can tell when you into something, when I'm sitting up there thinking this is bullshit, and we just don't look at each other.
Right.
We saw a movie this morning where we were laughing our ass, and we knew the right time to look at each other like, man, this is some bullshit. Yep, Corey, this is some bullshit. But when it's something like we on a different level, like you like it and I don't like it, I ain't saying shit to this motherfucker right here. He might make me mad. I hate that. I don't want to cuss him out in the middle of this movie. People talking about black people in theaters talking. But I got you figured out, man. You that guy, man.
We've been doing this too long.
I know, yeah. Motherfucker read each other's minds. You like this shit, don't you? Fuck
Shut
you. Sitting up there doing a Professor Xavier on each other and shit. Fuck your movie, motherfucker.
Was it my fault? It was